similarities between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. Here's some interesting coincidences between arguably two of the most famous US presidents of all time. Both presidents were elected to Congress in 46, Lincoln in 1846 and Kennedy in 1946, and later to the presidency in 60, Lincoln in 1860 and Kennedy in 1960. I want to first of all look at the word Catholic because that plays a major role in this video. So let's not forget that there are 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament, and JFK was the first US Catholic president and was assassinated at the age of 46. He was also the 35th US president. So as you can see, Catholic equals 35 and has a reversible reduction of 46. JFK being assassinated at 46, JFK being the 35th US president and the first Catholic US president. Confirmation here, John F. Kennedy, or John Fitzgerald Kennedy, often referred to by his initials JFK, was an American politician who served as the 35th president of the United States from January 1961 until his assassination in November 1963. Here he is, died at the age of 46 years old in 1963. Kennedy assassinated at the age of 46 years, 177 days, was the nation's shortest lived president. I will discuss the number 177 later and why it's significant and why they have to tell you how many days it was. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th president of the United States, was assassinated on Friday, November the 22nd, 1963 at 12:30 p.m. Why is this significant this time? I'll tell you why. Central Standard Time in Dallas, Texas, while riding in a presidential motorcade through Dealey Plaza. I'll discuss that later as well. Remember that 0 has no value in gematria, so 12:30 p.m. can be seen as 1, 2, 3, which turns out to be the English ordinal value of the name Abraham Lincoln. Abraham, his first name, also has the 46 connection. No surprise there. And JFK was the 44th term president. Remember, some presidents have more than one term. And see how the English ordinal of Abraham equals 44? Let's also look how the reverse ordinal of Abraham equals 145. And see how Catholic equals 145. The connections continue. Both married women in their 20s while themselves in their 30s. Both lost a son while living in the White House. Let's think of Joe Biden, by the way. He's going to be the second Catholic president. He's going to be the 46th president of the United States. And his son, Beau Biden, died at the age of 46. So with all those 46 connections and the Catholic connection with Joe Biden, it looks like he's going to get assassinated at some point. So both these presidents lost a son while living in the White House. JFK and Lincoln. Both were shot in the presence of their wives, clearly a ritual. Both assassins, John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald. By the way, John Wilkes Booth was the guy who assassinated Lincoln. Lee Harvey Oswald was the guy accused of assassinating JFK. They were both born in 39. So John Wilkes Booth in 1839 and Lee Harvey Oswald in 1939. And they were known by their three names, three, big number. John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald, composed of 15 letters. Again, they make these names up. I've said it multiple times now. They make these names up. It has to go along with the ritual. Booth, John Wilkes Booth, ran from Ford's Theatre and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald ran from the Dealey Plaza warehouse and was caught in a theatre. For anyone who still doesn't believe that ritual sacrifices are not happening now or back then I don't know what to say to you. It's clear as day who's responsible, and that's the Jesuit order. I'll get even more to that further in the video. Both presidents were runners-up for the party's nomination for vice president in 56. I knew there had to be a 56 connection somewhere. There it is. Both successors were Southern Democrats, surnamed Johnson. What are their chances? Both were born in 08. and their first names contained 6 letters. The assassins were both Southerners. Both Lincoln and JFK were particularly concerned with civil rights, or at least pretended to be, and made their views strongly known in 1963. Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1862, which became a law a year later in 1963. A century later, they say history repeats itself, it's whether that's intentional or not. A century later, Kennedy presented his reports to Congress on civil rights during the famous March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom that same year. If you believe that these civil rights movement and all these marches are genuine and not staged, then wake up. Both presidents were shot in the head on a Friday and died at a nearby location. Lincoln at the Peterson House across the street, and Kennedy at Parkland Memorial Hospital down the road. Lincoln was shot at Ford's Theater. Kennedy was shot in a Ford car, a Lincoln limousine. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy, just outrageous, who told him not to go to Ford's Theater. Kennedy had a secretary named Evelyn Lincoln, whose husband Harold's nickname was Abe, just like Abe Lincoln, and she warned him not to go to Dallas, of course. Both Oswald and Booth were assassinated before they could be put on trial. I wonder why, because they were innocent. Straight up innocent. These presidents were murdered by the numbers, by the Jesuit order. How their names connect with the Jesuit order. So John Fitzgerald Kennedy, or more famously known as JFK, take a look how he has the 54 here. The 9 as well, I'll discuss that, but the 54. Dealey Plaza is where he was shot. 54. Jesuit order. 54. We know who's responsible for his death, or at least I do. Not some random guy who just shot these presidents because they're crazy. Sure. Abraham Lincoln, by the way, look how he has the 60 in his name. And look when he became president, or both of them. 1860, 1960. Got the 60 in his name. Interesting stuff. So Abraham Lincoln also has the 84. I've discussed this number, a huge Jesuit number, and the Jesuit order who's running the show. Reversible reduction 84, reversible reduction 84. The 177 here, JFK was assassinated at the age of 46 years old, 177 days. See how the Jesuit order equals 177? People responsible for it. Time to wake up and see what's going on. These ritual sacrifices are happening all the time. JFK was born on May 29th, which can be written 529. And interestingly, 529 is the perfect square of 23. And 23 is the 9th prime number. Look at all the 9s here with JFK and where he died. And the Jesuit order, all 9s, all 9s. If we want to add a 23 connection with Abraham Lincoln, he was 33 years old when he married 23-year-old Mary Todd, ritual wedding, marriage. And to go a step further, the word Kennedy has a full reduction of 33, which was the age Abraham Lincoln got married. And we all know about 33. 33-degree Freemasonry is the highest ranked. 33 is a huge number for these people. No doubt all the presidents are Freemasons and part of the order. They are selected, not elected. If you still believe your vote counts, then God bless you. Lee Harvey Oswald, so the guy who was supposedly the person who assassinated JFK. See how he has the reverse ordinal of 23, and remember in gematria, 0 has no value. So he has the 23 connection. And Lincoln and Kennedy each have 7 letters, so their surnames have 7 letters. See how Lee Harvey Oswald has a reverse ordinal of, well, that's the 23. See how he has a reversible reduction of 77, like the 2 7s here. Come on. Here he is. This is the day he died in his Lincoln Continental. Question is, did he know he was about to be sacrificed? I think he did. I think they do know. I think they're fully aware of that they'll be sacrificed, that family members will be. I think they're aware of that, and they accept it. But I don't know that. However, what I do know, that there is clearly undeniable similarities between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy.